Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahi Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat Om Sahna Vavatu Sahno Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Asato ma Satkamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukh Bhaga Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Sai Ram. Good evening and welcome to our weekly session. I wanted to share something with you today, which we have spoken a few times earlier, but I wanted to again highlight some things so that we can fully understand the importance of some of the things that we take for granted. And I'll be kind of referring back to some of the important elements of the Atma Chalisa. Many people have asked me this question, that they experience an energetic presence when they read some of the writings on my blogs. When they read that, they say that they experience some energy coming to them. I've also heard that when I speak to you, then also you receive this energy. When I do not speak and I sit in silence while you are sitting all across the globe, even then you experience this energy. So what is this energy about, and why do we experience it? And why do we experience with some, and why do we not experience with everyone? Now that's a question. If you're able to understand how and why of this, then you can understand the how and why of everything. You can understand the how and why of your own selves as well. So I'm trying to attempt this understanding once again from all the basic things, the core things that we have discussed already. And I'm hoping that you get it and you do something about it. That how energy can be experienced through written words. Because it's been written by somebody else, and it has been written and stored, on a WhatsApp message, or it's stored on a blog site. How can, by reading it, we can receive energy? How can we experience energy when words are spoken? I can understand it can be experienced when you're sitting in the presence of somebody. And but however, how can you experience it when you're sitting thousands of miles away? How can this energy be transmitted when we are all sitting in silence? And this energy is still received without even speaking a single word. So, what is this magic? What is this hidden mantra? If we today, all of you, if you can today focus on this and tune in today, both to my words and to the energy that you are going to receive, then it can unlock everything, and it can provide you the basis of your own experience and understanding the magic of consciousness. There is no trick in this. It simply is the alignment, the unity of thoughts, words, and deeds. You see, what I speak to you, what I write, is exactly what I am thinking, and what I am saying is what I do in my daily life. In fact, all my writings come from my own direct experiences, prataksha praman, from the experiences that life gives me. Through the contemplation on those experiences, I have experienced this truth. And then this is the truth which gets written, which gets spoken, and which gets transmitted even without speaking. Because there is no gap in my intent and in my action. And because it is in absolute unison, it is absolutely in complete oneness. The thought, word, and action is completely aligned. Therefore, it is nothing but the truth. When Swami used to say that I am Satya Bodhaka, I am the speaker of truth. The truth which comes from the core of beingness. The truth which comes from the essence of his very being. And that truth has the magical powers of giving everybody this experience, because when we come in the presence of a being who is fully aligned in thoughts, word, and action, that being radiates an energy. It radiates a strong energetic signal which is perceived and received by all of us, because inherently within us the same energy resides. So when the two complementary energies come together, there is a bond or a union that takes place. There is a dormant energy inside you. When it comes with an all-pervasive energy, it recognizes it and it instantly starts to get that experience. So that alignment in our very basis of our existence, that means while sleeping, while waking, and in deep sleep, no matter what is your state of consciousness, there is absolute unity between your mind and your heart. And that is when everything magically becomes one with the entire consciousness, which is nothing but a mere energetic presence. And this whole of life is nothing but an energetic presence. And I have often called it as a dance of consciousness, the dance of the two poles, the negative and the positive, the yin and the yang, the Shiva and the Shakti. They all come together. And that energy gets instantly, without any effort. I do not have to make any effort. I don't have to think that, I don't have to say that this energy has to go anywhere. This energy is encoded. It is part of the very presence of our beingness. And because there is authenticity, and because it is coming from this deep truth, and because it is coming from this deep connection, it is received by everyone, no matter who you are. The ones who are slower to receive this energy are the ones who still are removing the layers of the mind, removing the layers of this deep attachment to the world. And if this energetic principle is understood, that all of you and me and all the saints and all the gods and all the avatars and all the blessed masters that we have known or we have heard about are nothing but an energy. And the energy, as we know, we have spoken hundreds of times, can neither be created nor can be destroyed. Therefore, the energy is eternal, it stays, and that is what we call as immortality. And the energy is free. It has no attributes of good and bad. It does not have any attributes of like or dislike. It does not have any attributes of sin or auspiciousness. It does not suffer from any duality, because energy is pure, simple energy. And it is only the mind which categorizes and labels it as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. All vocabulary, all language has been created by the mind. And in the vocabulary of the mind, we have all become prisoners, because we are all very well educated people. We have learned the languages well. Some of us know 4 or 5 languages. And the more we know, the more we are caught up, because we have a word for everything. We have an expression for everything. And in this expression and in this languaging is where our mind keeps us caught in concentric circles. Whereas energy does not require any language. And especially the core energy, the core energetic principle is simply called love. That is the base energy. And that energy is easily perceived by everybody because everyone has been either a father or a mother, or has been a child, a son or a daughter, or brother or a sister. And therefore, by virtue of all these relationships, one has experienced love. Because that's how we come in this world. And immediately these relationships are made. But through these relationships, we experience love. So therefore, love cannot be taught, and love can be experienced by everybody, and everyone experiences this love. Therefore, it is the most primal energy. When it becomes attached, then it becomes selfishness. When it has expectations, then it becomes selfish. When it has desires, then it becomes selfish. But love by itself was never selfish. It was pure love. It was base. And therefore, this energy is perceived by all of us. And this energy will get communicated no matter what, whether you use the power of the word, whether written or spoken, or whether not spoken at all. Silence. The era that we are heading towards, the golden age, the age of love, in that age, not a single word is going to be spoken. Everything is going to happen in silence, provided we have started to experience this energetic connection, where no words are essential, and which you have been experiencing now, that this presence does not require any words. So the trick behind it is that we cannot afford to have any duality come in between our thoughts and our words and our action. And you have to be so aware, and you have to be so focused, especially at the stage when you are beginning to understand this, that you cannot afford to have any distractions at all. And therefore, I take you back to the fundamentals of Atma Chalisa, and which I know most of you overlook. Most of you do not understand the importance that actually the entire Atma Chalisa is based upon the step number 2 and step number 3 and step number 4, day 2, day 3, day 4. The day 2 speaks about the goal of life. And the goal of life, as we understood it, is to experience that I am that energetic presence, that I am that consciousness, that I am that pure selfless love, I am that God, and I am that Sai Baba, or I am that whatever master or whatever religion or whoever I have prayed to. I am very much the embodiment of that. And this is what we have come to experience. Unless you are absolutely clear that that is the goal of your life, forget, you will never be able to experience it. Because you do not believe in it. You're still playing with it. You're still laughing about it. You're still, running around like children in the light and sound show of the world, running from one ashram to the other, running to one temple or the other, running to one guru or the other, running to every place like children who like to see different toys and who like to go and shop around. We just lose, in a minute we lose our focus, because we are interested in, we've come to a particular place, we have gone somewhere, let's go and see the sights around. Yes, we no longer see the materialistic sights, but we still want to see the holy sights. as if something is magically going to happen there, as if, we are going to miss something. And especially at a stage when we have not understood this principle, when the time when we have to focus on our sadhana, we just start getting scattered all over. Because the goal is just not clear. We just think someday it will happen on its own. And therefore, if the goal is understood, and if the goal is clear, and if that goal is your goal, it cannot be just my goal, or your guru's goal, or Bhagavad Gita's goal, or Upanishad's goal, or your religion's goal. It has to become your personal goal. That goal of life is your goal too. It can't be just a high esoteric goal, which is good to talk about. Yeah, someday it'll happen. With the grace of the God, the grace of Guru, one day it'll happen when it has to happen. It just doesn't work like that. And to make that happen, the step number 3 is important. That we must seek it intensely, because only when it becomes a personal goal will I seek it. Will I seek it to the exclusion of everything else? And that is the reason we created a Parayanam, a 40-day Parayanam, where we said, for these 40 days, we are going to do nothing else. We are going to put our heart, mind, soul, everything into yearning for it. It's not, a video that you listen to for, 15 minutes and you say, okay, very good. Think about it for 15 minutes, and the whole day we keep running around. Because from within, we are not releasing that power. There is a huge power inside of us. It is called the willpower, Atma Shakti. We don't realize that there is something inside of us. The reason 40-day spiritual festivals were celebrated in every religion of the world was because these 40 days, if it is done with that fervor of observing your mind, observing your thoughts, and being completely and exclusively focused on it, it gives you that breakthrough. It provides you with that moment where everything starts to fall into place. And it releases from within you a strong current which has been blocked out because of our mind, because of our distractions, because of our attractions to the world. And that stage, which is called mumukshatva, of seeking intensely, that I have done everything else in this life, and now I seek this exclusively, because this is the reason why I am born. So please talk to yourself, do your self-audit, do your self-inquiry, do your manana, and ask yourself, is this really your goal? And if this is your goal, are you seeking it with that intensity? That a child who has lost his favorite toy starts to scream and look for that toy as if the most beloved thing has been lost. It's a man who is drowning, is gasping for air. It's that intensity. At that time, the person drowning only wants that air to breathe. That is the intensity that is required if truly it is the goal of your life. But if it is a good goal to have, repeated by the masters, repeated by the scriptures, then it will remain as a good goal. And someday, when we have run around everywhere else, we will look at and try and receive this experience. So this experience that we have got or we haven't got is completely dependent on us. And this intensity takes us to the third step, which is also very critical, is to have belief and faith in our Guru, who has given us that this is the goal of our life, and to the guide who's helping you through this process. Because if you do not have faith in your guide, if you do not believe in that, then of course we will still do what we want to do, and we will receive only what we want to receive. Most of the time we hear what we want to hear, we perceive what we want to perceive because it suits us, it suits our intelligence. We are always listening with only 10% of our capacities, because most of the time we are distracted by our own conditioning, by our own thoughts. If it aligns with our thinking, it makes us feel good. Other things we just don't receive it. And whatever we receive, we have a good experience, and some of you have great experiences during these sessions. But after that, after half an hour of that, we start doing something else and we just lose focus of it. It just goes away from our awareness. We don't contemplate on it. We don't join the dots. And we do not realize that it is only happening because of our effort. And if it doesn't happen, it is because of lack of our own effort. And we keep asking, I'm not getting this, I'm not getting that. This whole universe is just a reflection of what's happening inside of you. There is nothing that's happening outside of you. Outside of you, what you see, if you want to do something about it, remember that the cause of all that's happening outside of you, the cause of that is also you, and that the solution of that is also you. But what do? We find the cause in others, and we try and put the blame on others, and we therefore try to find solution in others. And we can keep doing that because that is what the material world has taught us. But the inner world does not work on this principle at all. Because everything is one consciousness. You, me, all of us, everybody in this universe is only one consciousness. All the separations exist in the mind. So if the separation has to go, the world doesn't have to become good. Suddenly the world will not become loving. If the separation has to go, then I and you have to become loving. And the minute we become loving, and the minute we become selfless, and the minute we start experiencing that one consciousness, everybody around us will start becoming loving. Because we've understood the trick. We've understood this connection. We've understood that there is no other. There is no two. There is no second entity. There is no duality. All duality is an illusion. All separation is creation of the mind. And so therefore, if you do not have faith in the words of your master, you do not have a faith in the words of your guide, you do not have faith in the words that I am telling you, then no matter all the other parts of Atma Chalisa Parayanam that you might do, everything else that you might try and understand, but if this basis, this very foundation is not rock solid, of being absolutely clear that I only seek this to be the goal of my life, that is realization of the truth of the self, or self-realization. And the intensity of your seeking is directly proportional to the experiences that you're having. And third is faith in this journey is essential. And as I have said, this faith is in 4 parts. It keeps changing. The only thing that changes is this, our understanding. From belief, we start, it becomes faith on the touchstone of experience. The faith on the further experience gives us a sense of knowing. Like many of the experiences that all of you have started to share on the group, is you starting to experience the synchronicity of consciousness. So we're getting into the stage of knowing that it always works. Once we start getting connected, we know it works. There is no longer an element of faith now. Faith was required only till the time we needed some support. It was like a walking stick. It is like we've had a surgery of our knees and we are scared of walking, so we need the stick. The stick support provides us the support. This is the work of belief and faith. And then we get direct experiences. We start getting prataksha praman, full experiential affirmation of this journey. And therefore, we go into the stage of knowingness. And as we start living in the presence of this knowingness, we transcend further and we go into the stage of what is called as beingness. We start being. And when will beingness happen? Is when the 4th thing that I started off with is when Trikaran Shuddhi will take place. When I am absolutely aligned in my thoughts, my words, and my action. Then I am in the state of beingness, because I am absolutely at home, feeling comfortable and easy with exactly what's happening. And I have trusted everything to this consciousness. And that is when all karmas, all binding actions stop operating for you. You are fully released from all the new karmas being created. All that nonsense that we have been carrying from lifetime to lifetime is suddenly get released, because you are living as consciousness. And the mind has just gone back. And you are in the state of beingness, in the energetic presence of this consciousness, which is none other than you. And the entire consciousness that is outside of you operates freely inside of you, because the mind is the only obstruction in the free flow of this is the mind. And it's the mind which says, let's go here, let's go do this, let's be there. It's the mind which keeps, getting us caught in the light and sound show of the world. And it is very tricky. It just comes in very, very innocently and it says, so it is part of the consciousness. See, the thought came and we went. We have to be very vigilant. See, when we are on this path, in the initial days, we are like the young sapling, which needs protection, which needs guarding, till we become a strong tree ourselves, till we are absolutely in this stage of oneness. Then nothing will come in the way. Then you can absolutely do what you want to do. actually you would not want to do any of those things, because suddenly you have so much of clarity that all doubts vanish, all the urgings of the mind start to just settle down, because you have released that Atma Shakti, that willpower. And that willpower is essential, and it comes with practice, and it comes with bringing this awareness. As you keep practicing that everything is becoming one, you'll start to see this magic happen. There is nothing coming from outside, it's all happening inside as we are disciplining ourselves to this idea. And something just absolutely brings clarity. And then you know that all that you needed to know, all that you need to visit, all that you require is inside of you. And all this urgings, just cease. So I really wanted to, bring this attention back to this very fundamental. It's the if the foundation is shaky, if the foundation is not clear, then the building that we are going to make will always fall at the first earthquake or tremor that comes. We need to be so strong, because what's coming in the universe is a massive test for humanity and for all beings. And we need to be so strongly anchored in the presence and in this one consciousness that nothing should ever shake us. That sthit prajna, this just one consciousness, this unaffected by all that's happening around us, and in absolute stillness, in that absolute silence. That's the experience that we are all moving towards. And I have no doubt that each one of you is moving towards it. All I'm trying to do is to try to make sure that I keep urging you that where you need to focus. You may be thinking, I need to focus on day 35, 36, 37, something else. Those are only concepts. That will all happen. If you get these three right, everything will fall into place by itself. The sheer power of your seeking, the sheer power of your surrender to your Guru, the sheer power of the clarity of your goal, and the sheer power of your own alignment of your thought, words, and action. Just imagine if these four come together, you're like a rocket, a turbocharged rocket, which will zoom away from this pull of gravity, which is the mind. It's the mind that pulls you down, and you will suddenly surface into a new planet, into a new dimension, into the world of consciousness, where all this heaviness, where all this restlessness, where all this duality just suddenly disappears. And that is home. That is from where we have come before this birth. And that is where we need to be while being in this body, not when we are going to die. It has to happen now. And it can happen in this very moment, in this very instant, for each one of you, provided you want it. The solution is with you. The choice is with you. The responsibility is completely with you. If you choose to accept responsibility, if you choose to make the right choice, then it will happen. It's all waiting for you, and only you can, and you alone can figure out where are you on this path, on this journey. And what is it? What is it that is still lacking? What is it that is still distracting us? And why are we not able to find time for something which is the goal of our life? We have time for everything else. But for something which is so critical, and that's the question you must take. And each one has their situations and commitments and things. And this is something so personal. But I guess we deserve actually to ask ourselves this question in our silence, in our manana, in our contemplation, that what is the blockage? What is stopping me? And only you can decide, and you can figure out how it needs to be done. The path is known, the steps are known. We need to just travel on that path. And if still there are issues, still there are questions, if still there are doubts, if still there is something, then this satsanga is doing it for you. You don't have to wait for a Saturday. You can always message me. You can always call me. And satsanga clears all doubts. Satsanga is a great blessing of the lineage of the masters, of the Guru Parampara, that we are able to receive what we need in our life. Trust the consciousness that what you need is being given to you. You are here because the consciousness chose this moment that you will be here today. And everything is so beautifully ordained in this consciousness. But we have to seize the moment. Carpe diem. It is for us to seize this moment. If we do, then we will receive what we have been waiting for. So I just wanted to leave this thought with you, and I hope, if we are still somewhere a little shaky on this, then if we correct here, then everything else, I can assure you, will simply fall into place. So with that, I want to thank all of you. I love you all. And may you all experience this bliss and this peace within. And may this love reach you. May this energetic presence be with you. And may this consciousness guide you at every step of your way. And know that the consciousness is perfect. It has the most perfect plan for each one of us. Trust it. Let go. And then the flow happens. Only when we let go, then the flow happens. So I look forward to now hearing your experiences and your questions. Samast loka sukhino bhavantu. Samast loka sukhino bhavantu. Samast loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti.